For questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I'm going to start on the NASA side. Mr. Anderson, there is a major race going on for the United States to continue to compete in next generation aerospace technology. Part of NASA's leadership is in a high-rate composite aircraft manufacturing project that develops advanced composites and makes sure that we have lighter, more fuel-efficient planes, ensuring next-generation competitiveness. This is something my colleagues from Idaho and I have worked on. It's an ambitious goal, but it certainly is something that NASA and space also depend on too, because we have to become more fuel-efficient all the time. So will you support this HICAM program at NASA and support competitive technologies like the Advanced Aerospace Materials Manufacturing Tech Hub?
Yes, Senator.
Great. I appreciate Administrator Isaacman's support for, a competition for 2 lunar landers. If confirmed, will you support this competition and award process to whichever, providers win the competition?
Yes, Senator.
Great. Once we return to the moon, and I'm assuming you agree with the legislation that we just passed out here yesterday that we have to go faster, how can this committee help to achieve those 2028 landings?
Senator, thanks for that question. And I think you alluded to the what I was exactly going to say is I think what we're looking at right now is a perfect alignment between the administration, this committee demonstrated from what happened yesterday by a unanimous consent, bipartisan consent for NASA, that we have a challenger, a geopolitical rival in China that requires cooperation between all whole of government parts, and it supports the president's national space policy. And I look forward to joining the administrator and helping this committee pursue those goals.
Thank you. Turning to you, Dr. Raman, I said in my opening comment about NIST and standards setting, it really is an accelerant, isn't that correct?
Yes.
I think sometimes we get into disputes here because somebody thinks that we're setting regulations, when in reality, the most important aspect of NIST is the standard setting that allows whatever. It could have been electricity, it could have been anything, but it's the standard setting that helps accelerate the competitiveness of our nation. Is that?
Senator, I'd like to just point out again, the standard setting is, of course, a key goal for NIST, and I just like to, I agree, it's extremely important for America to lead in tech standard setting that ensures, of course, like I said, expanded markets for our technologies, but also that American values are what underpin international commerce.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure everybody in the administration agrees on that, so I hope that you can be a loud voice for this, because this is critically important. And again, I think people hear the word standards and then all of a sudden are like, oh, this is a regulation, when in reality, you are talking about a voluntary process to accelerate our competitiveness by getting industry something they couldn't necessarily do. Obviously, there's a lot of competition in industry, and they would compete with each other and like their standard to win. But you play the middle guy who basically says, no, let's all come together with a common standard, and then we will go faster. So you will play that role within NIST.
Yes, I will.
Proudly play that role.
Yes, I will.
Okay. So now let's get to, because I'm sure this won't be the last of this debate as it relates to standards, because somebody's going to, again, claim that this is some sort of regulatory process. And I just, will you support the manufacturing extension programs that are in law and under NIST?
Senator, thank you for that question. I'm fully committed to this administration's priorities to reindustrialize America, bring manufacturing back, just as you've been very supportive of this, Senator. At Purdue, we've done a lot within our state of Indiana for this as well. It's the state with the highest concentration of manufacturing jobs. And so this is very near and dear to us. That being said, I am aware that there have been some IG concerns regarding the, extension program.
I got one more question, and I only have a few seconds left. But just tell me, do you support the manufacturing extension program?
Senator, I don't know. I don't know the specifics of your comments earlier about, what has happened, what has not happened.
But
But
do you
I'm
think it's a
supportive
good
of
idea that-
manufacturing. and
Okay,
I'll
do you
work
think it's a
with
good
you.
idea to have a program at NIST that you'll be in charge of that is called manufacturing extension?
I mean, I'm very supportive of whatever we can do to make sure advanced manufacturing moves ahead here in America in whatever way possible. I
Okay,
just don't know
we'll
the
have to
specifics.
we'll have to get a crisper
Yeah,
answer for the
yeah.
record from you. Okay, what about NIST telling us if confirmed, will you commit to determining the impact of the agency's policy on chips and science and giving us a full accounting of how we're going to meet the goals of the Chips and Science Act that you're responsible for?
No, thank you for that question, Senator. Again, as I said in my remarks, the entire AI tech stack advancing America's leadership in chips, both in manufacturing and at the critical edge of next-generation chips, will be a high priority for us. And I intend to work with this committee in Congress to make sure whatever resources you provide, that we use it most effectively to make that happen.
Okay, so we'll ask for, this is like an accounting, because we're not getting that out of the current administration. And then the last point is just on this equity stipulation as part of this broad agency announcement that stipulates that applicants may be required to issue the department equity warrants, licenses to the intellectual property, royalty, and revenue sharing.
Again, Senator, I don't know the details
Okay.
and specifics of
Okay,
this,
so read a little
but
more
for the
about,
future,
read a little bit more about that and give us an answer. So again, you're gonna head this organization. We wanna hear your views about those policies, because they're pretty big policies. We think the agency's making some pretty big mistakes. We wanna know what your philosophy is. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.